Good day, YouTube. Here in the storm in Oregon. It is the 4th of March, 2023. These are my two truck campers and a couple of my trucks. My 66 F100, that's my shop truck. We built that on the channel in 2020. I used to call it my COVID truck. I bought it and put it together during COVID. It took the whole year 2020 off work. And to build that, and then picked up that very rare 57 Alcan camper. This is a prototype prior to the Alaskan campers. So anyway, I love this truck. Almost springtime. We'll get it out and start using it a little more. It's my 2000 Super Duty Ford. Bought this many years ago, and love this truck. Always the idea of keeping it for retirement and take really good care of it. So I hope I haven't disappointed my truck. But anyway, my video today is all about this Lance camper. I can't remember the exact year, but I think it's a 94. Pretty good shape. It's not perfect. It's a little rough around the edges. But the power cord I had plugged into a GFI. We got really cold. The GFI tripped. My heater went off, and I have a damaged toilet now. So when I realized the power was off, I plugged it in. I hear the water pump running, and I went, uh-oh, that's not good. So I had the valve in the toilet break on me. All right, we're in the camper now, trying to warm it up. Man, it is cold and windy out, so I'm gonna hear some groaning and moaning there. So yeah, the valve area behind the toilet was just spraying water with the pump running like crazy. Luckily I caught that and shut the pump off anyway. It did whatever, the battery was dead. It is a brand new battery, but so I'm not sure what completely drained the battery when the power went off, but anyway, we have what we have. So I could probably repair that toilet, but I mean, it's original to this camper and it's going on 30 years old, so let's have a new one, I think. I've never swapped one out before, but can't be too bad. I think it's just a couple bolts, one on each side. They are a 1/2 inch headed bolt, and the water connection to the rear. I think my only fear is where that water connection might end up on a new toilet, and that's fairly fixed. At least the pipe it was installed, we might have to put something different on it for that pipe. So I was looking for the shortest wrench that I own. I got this little Snap-on. That's the shortest one I own for getting in there, because this is pretty tight over here. So I'm not sure if this will reach in there or not, and there's probably no way in the world to film this, but I'll just kind of walk you through the process. So see if we can see down in behind. I got a little light. So I've already got it disconnected actually, but the pipe itself comes up. Can you see it there? Comes up through the bottom of the shower. And you can see that sealant around there. If I take this away, you might even be able to see some daylight around that. See that little spot of daylight around where that pipe comes in? So the sealant's kind of failed over the last 30 years. I've been chasing some sort of leak to the outside around where the valves and stuff come out underneath here. So there's a little door that opens up and the valves are there so you can drain the tanks and such. And every once in a while I see water dripping down from that space onto the bumper of my truck, and I've been chasing it, trying to figure out where it's coming from. And well, when this toilet was broken and it was spraying from behind and running down the drain, it was also running out the bottom of the camper through where that access is, where the valves are, running onto the bumper of my truck. And I went, oh, wait a minute. I'm not so disappointed at this point that this toilet froze and broke, because A, it's getting old, it doesn't look great anymore, and it's time to have a new one. and I found that leak. That's where it was leaking from. You could see the daylight around that pipe as it comes through the bottom of the shower pan, and that's what the leak I couldn't find. So I killed two birds in one stone kind of deal. So let's again, I got that pipe already disconnected. It was finger tight. Maybe the freeze had something to do with it. I don't think it was leaking. This thing I could run with the pump on all the time. It would never burp every few minutes or even hour, so it would maintain pressure constantly. But I was able to just spin it off by hand. Getting the new one on might be a little challenging, but I might be able to get a flexier hose and attach the water before I bolt the new one down. My goal is to be able to run to Camping World. They're about an hour one way from me, and get a toilet today. So pull this out of here, so I can have dimensions. I'll just take the dang thing with me with a tape measure, and so I have dimensions in case something it has to fit. You know what I'm saying? But it looks like it's got a pretty wide base, so I don't think I can get something but I wouldn't want that to overhang this side, right? It would just look bad. So anyway, let me get that short wrench, see if I can get in, especially on that side, and get that nut off of there, and get this one off of there, get this toilet out, and let's see about getting a new one in. Let's try to get it done today. This is Saturday, and I may need this for next week to go help my dad with a project. And I love my camper. I love having it always available for me, and be able to get a shower and such in the morning is kind of important to me. So we've got to get this thing rolling. So I'll check back with you in a little bit. So here's a pro tip for you. My little wrench that I had is this long, fairly short for a wrench, but it was too long to reach in between the toilet and the cabinet. So I went to my box of wrenches in the shop, and I knew I had some bent wrenches that I had custom bent for stuff in the past, but then I came across some of my distributor wrenches, and wait a minute, that's going to be perfect. So the distributor wrench typically has a 9/16 on one side, a 1/2 inch on the other. These are 1/2 inch, and this works great. I've already got the hard one removed, so I'll just demonstrate on the easy side, the side I could video, just how easy to get to this with the distributor wrench. So if I can see there, see there? So now we can pull this off easily with a distributor wrench and put the new one back on with it. Once those are loose, then they'll come off finger tight. But okay, pro tip for you, except it's coming from me. And there we go, guys and gals. Wasn't really anything to it. There's just a couple bolts and that hose in the back. So again, I'm gonna throw this thing in the car. We're gonna head an hour north of here to the Camping World, and we're gonna get us a brand spanking new toilet for the camper, and looking forward to wrapping this up. I'm also pretty happy that through this process that I have found that it's this pipe here, you can see the daylight, that was causing the water leak that was bothering the heck out of me because I didn't know where it was coming from. And now we do, so I should be able to clean that up real good, and after we get the new toilet in, put some real nice silicone around that. The other thing I noted too is that the color of the fiberglass in here isn't the bright white, I think it's called bone, so it would be nice, I guess, to have the correct color. I mean, if it came with white, if I have to get a white one, I don't think that's a deal breaker or anything. But if the color is bone, or kind of an almond color, we'll match it. So we'll do that. So I'm gonna head on out, head north, get a new one. We'll come back, we'll put this in, we'll wrap this project up. Woohoo! All right, guys, we are back from the old Camping World, and this is what we came back with. I think I'll take a moment and go through what I just went through to get the correct toilet for the space. Start off with there's a Lance Camper forum on Facebook, and I posted a question last night. You know, if folks have replaced their toilets, what did you replace it with, and you know, are you happy with it, kind of deal. I don't think too many people replaced their toilets because there wasn't many suggestions like, here, I put this one in, kind of deal. So I didn't have much to go on. So because it's the first time I've ever replaced one, I was erring on the side of caution and just trying to get some info from someone that may have, you know, bought the wrong one or had to exchange it, and then why. So I didn't fall into that. So I took the old one out, I bagged it, threw it in the car, took it with me in case I needed some measurements on it. And when I got to Camping World, they have a couple displays, actually, a couple different brands of toilets. But what I found was, I was pretty disappointed, actually, is most of the ones on display, they don't actually have one on the shelf for sale, and the ones they have on the shelf for sale, they don't have a display. So their displays are old, and they've all been replaced by other stuff that are completely different. So there was no display for this toilet that I purchased, and if there would have been another option, I'd have probably left the store and went and found a better store. But there wasn't. Finally, a salesman walked up, and we pulled one out of the box. So I took measurements of my old one, and it was just under 16 inches high, and this one here is just under 16 inches high. And the first one I was thinking I would get was a little taller, but it has that little rise right there, so 2-3 inches or something it's going to sit up on. So a taller one wouldn't really be correct for this. The other thing is, most of the ones they only had one model that had the finger flush. Again, it was a display, and they didn't have one on the shelf. I really wanted a foot flush like this one, but most of the flushers are off here to the side. Well, you remember how much room I had? You know, I had to go get this little wrench, my distributor wrench, because this is all the room I had from where the center of this bolt to get in here. So this thing is going to come up, you know, pretty tight to the wall within an inch or so. If I had a pedal out here, it's not going to fit at all. So I need a front pedal. And then when we got to that point, there was only two options with a front pedal, and only one of those options existed on the shelf for sale in this height. So to get this height and that pedal, this was the only option, and they only had it in this white one color, which will be fine. It's not really a bright white, so it probably will match this close, and it probably matched it closer when this camper was new 30 years ago. So others that I looked at too, I kind of felt were too deep. I didn't actually put a tape measure on them and stuff, but this checked all the boxes, let's just say that. So the pipe will come up and fit here, and that's exactly what I need to happen. So you can see my pipe coming up, and then it's a vertical, not horizontal connection. So it's checked that box. I believe it will fit forwards, left and right. Height is good. Life is good. So pretty anxious to get this in, finish it up. However, I want to get in and clean up all that, whatever that sealant is that's failing around that hose, and get the floor all cleaned up, and we got to pull the old seal out and so forth, and get this room ready for its new throne. So that's just my little here's what I learned today. Never been a huge fan of Camping World. Yeah, they got lots of stuff. Most of it's overpriced. I rejoined what used to be the President's Club, or whatever they call it now. so I could get this at a good price, and they gave it to me at a way better price than was even on the shelf. So I got zero complaints about that. I was pleasantly surprised. In fact, I don't think I could have bought this cheaper online, but I did have to spend $30 on that membership to get that price. But I think I paid for the membership. So, and you know, we got the bus conversion and stuff too. So, and we'll be working on that here this summer. So, trips to Camping World are in our future. So, might as well get that membership and we'll try to make it pay. All right, I'm going to get to cleaning. I'll show you when I get it all cleaned up. I picked up some white silicone caulk. We get it all done. I want to caulk around the edges, and then obviously caulk really good around that pipe and quit that leaking. I do use a shower in this every day when I'm using it, and that's my mystery leak. I'm so stoked that I found that. I'm actually pretty pumped that this wasn't that difficult of a project. So let me get that cleaned up and I'll bring you back. So the new toilet comes with the new hardware and a new rubber seal. So I took the old rubber seal out. It's waiting for a new rubber seal. Got all that cleaned up. That was just like butyl putty, so it wasn't an adhesive or something. So putty knife just scraped it right on out of there. Got everything cleaned up. We got good access, and we'll take this package apart and pull the seal out, pull the hardware out, get the bolts in place. I think we'll set this. I set it in there real quick. Looks like it's a great fit. I think before I get everything too bolted down, we'll make that water connection, just so I got a chance to move it just a little bit. Get that water connection in, and I might test it and then bolt it down. Right? That'd be the thing to do, wouldn't it? All right, here we go. Yep, we've been to Lowe's. This rubber seal in that fitting, not sealing, leaks pretty bad. So I looked and looked and looked, and I couldn't find just a rubber thing, but in the PEX section I found this, and I thought, well, I'll steal the rubber off of that and put on my fitting, and maybe that'll work. So wish me luck. So bolting this down with any other wrench, good luck. But it worked really good with this distributor wrench to get those in. The other side, Braille method, man, I'm telling you, it is tight. But we got her in there. I say winner and still champion. So I've turned the water on. Is water still on? Yep, water is still on. And no leaky, because I haven't heard the pump cycle at all. So this has a slow closing lid also. I don't know about the seat. Let's pull this plastic off of there. Check that out. That's a cool feature. Okay. So let's put some water in the bowl, shall we? That's what it's all about now. Probably get some air. Oh yeah. Whoosh. Whoosh. Well, what do you think, guys? We got no toilet in the camper. Right on. I got the shower curtain hanging up there, but anyway, I put fantastic vents in this. Got video on those if you're interested. These didn't have powered vents in them, so we grabbed power from the light next door and put those in. This has a late model air conditioner, got heat strip in it, stuff, so we got electric heat as well. It's kind of noisy, but for heat and for air, but it works. Okay. Guys, we got a new toilet, yay! But boy, be careful, don't get anything any bigger, because I think it's all but touching that side. I mean, it is right there. So get the smallest one you can if you're putting it in a camper with a little bathroom like this one. But we got her done. Pretty happy about that. Solved my leak that I was chasing out there that I mentioned earlier. So all I'm going to do now is grab a caulking gun and load up the silicone and plug that hole in the back. And then we're done. I might mess around here in the camper and do some cleaning and rearranging. But other than that, guys, we'll catch you on the next video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that. We've got some lots of fun stuff coming up this summer. Throw a comment down below. I'm having a good time responding to everybody, and I do respond to everybody, even if it's just a thumbs up. Comments, good or bad. Guys, catch you next video.